Well, good Monday morning, friends. Mark Holmes here, of course, with my buddy Cowboy Joe Brew, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Brew Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. So let's get open for business here. And let's wake up the football gods early this morning. It's back to life, back to reality for me because, well, got to get back into the groove of things, make up for lost time of being there in Oxnard. And I am excited to get ready to rock and roll, dudes, as we look at this 31 days, 13 hours, and 31 minutes and 10 seconds away from kickoff of the 2029 season. Last night we were doing a re-air of the Eagles-Cowboys live stream. Shout out to everybody who was in here. We had some technical difficulties. Hell, we had a power failure in the whole neighborhood that shut everything down. But you guys got the gist of how that was in that situation. And you know what's funny is the Eagles have, Philly 500 has been going crazy about Jordan Davis. You were right. Yeah, I was right about Jordan Davis. He's going to be a really good player. But you know what? One player does not make a team. It's possible he becomes, a wrecking ball and everything else, and we'll have to wait and see how that goes, or if he's a one-trick pony. But we've also got a Tyler Smith and a Zach Martin over there that'll also be dealing with him, and a bigger, stronger Tyler Biadasz. But we'll see what happens with that situation. Now, I came up with something yesterday. I've been trying to figure out exactly what to do with D2 Stu, and I miss him badly. We've got to get fantasy football going, and that's another one of those things I have to work on. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of my footballs from the Joe Bardys, and I'm going to actually cut it so it's like on a football tee, and then put a flat piece on top, fat piece on the bottom, and that way it's like a stand just for Stewart to go up there with the football guys. I think that'll be kind of cool. It'll be something a little bit different than what I have done before and things, and a different look. And, yeah, I think it'll be good. Stu, I do miss you, buddy. Okay, Micah Parsons, and I got to hurry up and get out of here because I got to get to D.C. before the traffic gets bad, and it's building by the minute. Micah Parsons, it's clear that Dan Quinn, I've played it numerous times, but if you want to hear it, listen to Dan Quinn after the Super Bowl. Almost everything that the Dallas Cowboys have done on the defense is exactly what he talked about with the Seattle Seahawks defense. Fast and physical. We like to be aggressive. We want to deal with, the fundamentals, understanding how to tackle, how to pursue angles, how to do everything as good as possible with tall guys, lots of length, physicality, aggression, and speed. Another thing he said in there is, and it's very, very important, is we like to find out what guys do best and basically exploit that. And what they've come to find out is Micah Parsons is an X-Man. He can do anything you asked him. If you need him to cover somebody, he can do that. If you need him to be a middle linebacker, and fill, scrape and fill, he can do that. But by accident, really, by DeMarcus Lawrence getting hurt, they found out how good he is at getting to the quarterback. And what they realized is there's not a lot of guys that can go just from the edge, but go from almost anywhere and be able to get to the quarterback. And what they realized is the best thing to do is knowing that he can wreck you from anywhere is make it so that way when the quarterback comes to the line, you have to account for him. If you put him just strictly on the edge, okay, we know we got to roll the protection to him. We know not only will the tackle have to hit him, we're going to end up having the tight end stay in to help. Or we got to have the running back here to help. Okay? But if the quarterback has come to the line and as he's thinking about everything else and which way to go with the protection, And he has to look for him. Micah Parsons. Is he over here on the left? No, man. Is he on the right? Oh, no. Where is he? Oh, shit. He's right there. And now I got to call out a formation to say, help. I've got to have them jump down on him. He's blitzing. And you can play games with that. Then you back him off. Now I've got protection coming here to stop him, but he's not. I bring somebody else on the outside. Mind games and ways of using him ultimately as your ultimate weapon. Having him come through and not only wreck you by his ability, but by the fear of what he can do. Follow what I'm saying? And so that's why you get an Anthony Barr. Anthony Barr also can rush from the outside. Anthony Barr can also cover. Anthony Barr allows you more opportunities to put Micah Parsons anywhere. Hell, he might line up a defensive tackle. And that's where the Dallas Cowboys defense can really, really feast. Now, the big question is, should the Cowboys go out and get a wide receiver? Now, this is the Rich Eisen show. They have Jason somebody sitting in for him, and he has a great analogy about Jerry Jones in here, and should the Cowboys get another wide receiver? Let's listen to this before I get out of here.
Jerry Jones, of course, can't have an offseason or enter into a season without stirring up some drama.
Facts.
So he buys a $28.1 million house. Now, how do I know that? Because he says it. It's mentioned that he wanted to show up our boy Shaq. I got a bigger house than Shaq. Because, again, it's all about swinging the you-know-what around to let people know how big you are and how great you are. So he's flaunting how much money he bought on a new mansion. And yet, with all the injuries in the receiving core, he won't go out and get a new wide receiver. Does that upset you, TJ? Does that, stop talking about the house and get me someone that can take it to the house?
Right? I mean, I don't know what's going on. We made a list the other day of some pretty decent free agents out there. And then the second we said it, we looked on Twitter. Jerry doesn't plan on addressing the wide receiver.
So why not? I mean, Michael Gallup is like a guy, and he's hurt.
He's hurt.
You know who else? There's another guy is hurt.
Get your damn act together.
James White. He's like, I got to get a new pontoon boat for Jeannie, and it's like, all right, listen, you don't need to be spending on. You don't need another pontoon boat to take on Lake Grapevine out there. Just focus on your team. You don't want to be 9-8 or 8-9. You know, you're actually in a very winnable division, bro. Yeah. I wouldn't say the Eagles are juggernauts. I wouldn't say the Commanders are juggernauts. I wouldn't say that the Giants are down. That division is winnable.
And we've won it.
And you've won it. But I will say this, when I was mentioning the great quarterbacks earlier on the show with Adam Rank, you've got sort of your Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers, and then you've got
tier one guys.
That's the tier one. Those guys are unbelievable. They're older. Then you got your Russell Wilsons, and I'm trying to think of another person who's been around longer. But then you've got all these great young guns, the Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allens and Justin Herberts and those players. Notice I didn't mention Dak Prescott. I think he is good. I don't think he's elite. I think he's good. I don't think he's elite. I don't think you need to be elite to win that division. But, I mean, this is the guy you're riding with for the next several years. How do you feel about that, TJ?
I mean, on field, I think Dak gets a lot. He gets a knock against him because I feel like when you're the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, you have a spotlight on you. Regardless, as you look at every morning, every sports show when we're waiting to come on has their lower third, and it's some ridiculous thing about is Dak under the most pressure. Here's the deal about Dak. Dak can go 6-11. He's still going to be the quarterback of the Cowboys next year because of this fact. Your quarterback's like your CEO of your team, right? And it's one thing, obviously you want to have success on the field. That's paramount, right? It's what you have to have. But you also don't want to like get a text in the middle of the night that your quarterback, the face of your franchise, is out doing some, wild stuff.
Right. He's a guy you can rely on.
You can rely on
That's
him.
right.
So, I mean, and I know we're looking at you have to win football games. Granted, that is true. But the Dallas Cowboys are the most valuable franchise in sports, right? So there's a lot more that goes in.
That came out more than the Yankees, $6.5 billion.
And it's not even really close to the second. So,
I mean,
I feel like Dak is much better than people give him credit for. Is he a tier 1 quarterback right now? No.
I don't
but
think
like,
so.
Who is Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers? It's not, those guys don't grow on trees.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Who is Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers? TJ asks
we
inquisitively.
I'm saying, like, we can't. You're not just going to find guys like that.
You can't just pull those guys.
And also we look at quarterbacks as like, are you a guy who likes quarterback 1-loss records? Because I'm like, there's 22 guys out in that field that have to work together to get a win. So to strictly just put that on the quarterback is always a little weird.
It's not all on him. So you need receivers, Jerry Jones. Stop buying houses and go out and buy a wide receiver for your guy to do that. This is who you are. Be the franchise that is the most valuable franchise out there. Listen, if he's the CEO, then the coach has to be the chairman of the board, and that would make Jerry Jones the owner god, which I know he feels that way. But like, so you're the chairman of the board of this team, which is like a company. Why would you want to be chairman of the board if, like, Jimmy Johnson gives him 2 Super Bowl rings and you're going to play him like he's playing him in terms of, like, I'll put you in the Ring of Honor, but I'm not going to set a date for that. I mean, who's he going to put in front of him? Chan Gailey?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
going to put Gary Hogaboom up there just Hogaboom, Q Carter, to, like, throw even more shade at the guy who gave you 2 Super Bowls?
Yeah, who knows? Like, we've talked about this many times here.
Petty.
Like, if I wish somebody could have just sat those 2 down.
Agreed.
And really been like, look at what you have and look what you're about to lose. Obviously, you didn't know that then. But, it's so frustrating when you think of that team could have possibly won 4 Super Bowls in a row had Jimmy not gotten fired.
I know, and you say about Jimmy Johnson, okay, fine, but mend the fence. Like, that was the best time in your history in recent, certainly in the last 25 years. That's the best time that your last 30 years. That's the time right there you want to look back on. Why does there need to be acrimony? Why does there not? Why do you guys?
What's the word, Chris?
Well, that's a whole nother.
Sniveling Jim. Sniveling Jimmy. It's kind of like Slippin' Jimmy in Better Call Saul. He's Sniveling Jimmy.
But obviously, these guys.
Yeah. Well, that's another thought all the way around. But Jerry, of course, is always going to be Jerry Jones. So, that being said, I need to get my ass up the road. I appreciate you guys as always, and I will see you soon.
Our coach here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the show.